Hello, everyone. My name is Tatiana, and welcome to Off the Record, brought to you by Nana Music Productions. Today, we are here with our artist all the way from California, our Sade of the Bay and songstress, Ariel Marin. How are you today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm all the way in Alabama, so we're kind of doing coast to coast a little bit right here. But we wanted to get you on the show because you are an amazing, amazing performer, and you're actually one of our
Oh,
booking
thank you.
artists. And so we wanted to kind of tap into your expertise for artists who are trying to emerge themselves into the music industry and just kind of get a little bit of your insight and maybe some advice for them. So
Sure.
we'll get started. One thing I want to really start with is your background. I know with women in the industry, we kind of have a different turn towards the industry, I guess, or more say we have a different upbringing than we do than our male counterparts. So can you talk a little bit about your introduction into the music industry?
Sure. My introduction stems from childhood. My mother was a rock singer, and so I found my passion for music going to her concerts and being backstage and seeing her perform, being on the crowd and witnessing just a lot of the most amazing musical acts that are now legends that some of the younger crowd may not know, but the Grateful Dead is one of them, or Jefferson Airplane, some of these people who really laid the foundation for current music. I got to witness firsthand as a kid. So that's where it stems from.
Wow, I mean, not a lot of people get to have that opportunity to be a part of the being on the road and performing and stuff like that. Some people start like in the church or they start just, like just loving music on their own because of radio and even cleaning up in the mornings on Saturday. So, for you to be able to be already immersed in that as a young age, that's already kind of an advantage, but also a gift that you get to have as part of your history. So, okay, so you started as a kid and everything. Can you talk to us a little bit about what made you want to do? So, for anyone listening, Ariel, she has so many different acts and so many different performances and such. Can you talk a little bit about each
Yeah,
of them and kind of your inspiration to, why you wanted to do that?
sure. So one of my pieces of advice to artists that want to do this professionally is make yourself valuable. And what I mean by that is make yourself marketable. If you are planning to present your music to venues or you're looking to get signed or you want to perform for festivals, you want to set yourself apart. And so one of the ways I discovered how to set myself apart was to create options. And I learned this when I used to do corporate sales. No one wants to be sold. They want to look at an item and go, I choose that one. So you want to be that item that they choose. Music is a business first. The passion is great. Keep that fire as you go. And so what I did was I created a menu. So you can book me as a solo artist. You can book me as an acoustic duo, and you can book my band up to really up to an 18 piece and anything in between. And we also are not limited to a genre, whereas most bands are. We can play rock, classical, pop, country, classic rock, 80s hits, 90s current hits, really whatever a venue needs, we're able to provide seamlessly. It doesn't sound forced, it doesn't look forced. And then the other thing that as an artist and a band we're able to provide is a really immersive show for anyone who comes to see the show. And so people that come to the shows are left wanting more. They're like, oh my God, I forget everything or I forgot everything about my troubles, and they just turn into the peanut gang and lose themselves in the music. And that's exactly what we should do. We should deliver such joy that the listener loses themselves in the music in the most beautiful way.
It's more than the music. It's creating that experience for people to kind of, sweep away and just have a moment and be immersed into it. So that's beautiful that you've created that. And that's part of your brand as all of these different acts that you do have. And one
Absolutely.
thing that is also very setting apart and very bold and very obvious is your love for color and just how beautiful you are. I mean, like every time we talk, I always see you have your feathers and you're just so beautiful with all your rainbow colors. So, can
Oh,
you
thank
kind of
you.
talk a little bit about what made you want to make color like that be part of your brand?
Yes. So just like everyone else on the planet, I have a story, and part of my backstory is I was in a marriage that was abusive, and I'm actually a survivor of an abusive uh, uh, marriage. And coming out of that, I was not allowed to wear colors. He just wanted me to wear black, brown, beige, white, no makeup. It basically took everything that I was. My identity disappeared in this relationship. And so what happened was when I emancipated from that, which I felt like was the worst thing in the world at the time, it actually happened to be the best thing. And then I had a rebirth for myself. I was able to discover who I was, what I wanted out of life, and where my trajectory is. And music is a huge part of it. Color is the other part.
Mm.
So every single color I put back. I actually started by dyeing my hair rainbow.
Oh
And
wow.
I discovered by doing that, not only was it freeing to me, but it empowered so many people, including young children, especially teenagers.
Mm.
And that to me is a whole demographic that needs empowerment because of the world we're in. It's so important to empower others. So I make it a point to wear as many colors as I can every single day. And my goal is to boldly and refreshingly inspire as many people as I can through not just my music, but how I present myself. So this is me. This is me on a platter in every single way, every single color of the rainbow and the boldest versions. That's just me, my outward shining or my inward shining outward.
And it's beautiful. I mean, like literally, we're talking about a music artist here, and through just the visual aspect, you are giving people and listeners and teenagers a voice through expressing yourself just by looking at you and the color that you provide as far as your wardrobe. And then they also get to hear your story and who you are through music. So it's an embodiment of just again, like how you said, who you are, but also the freedom and the almost the I forget what it's called, the just using your free will to be able to express yourself in the fullest capacity. And again, like I
Absolutely.
said, it's a beautiful thing to see from my point of view, and for anyone I'm sure has listened and seen you perform. So
Thank you.
with that, kind of going into your performance and another brand that is you, your name Sade of the Bay and how that came about. So it's there's a little bit of some obvious things here because, of course, if you know Ariel, she does her Sade tribute band, and she is amazing with her Sade, renditions and stuff like that, where she has a full band. But I'm gonna let you talk about it because I want to hear your point of view of, kind of how that started up a little bit, but also how you got the name Sade of the Bay.
Sure. So I was thinking about just how I was talking about marketing before. One of the lessons I was told by a wise musician and producer that's been in the industry for a long time is people want familiarity first. So even if you're an original artist, it's important to introduce yourself with something people uh, that's nostalgic, and then you slap them in the face with your originals. And that way it's like a warm introduction. And so we thought about, well, what's a great way to do that? There are a lot of tribute bands out there. Which tribute bands aren't out there? So that's where we started with Sade. And, it physically, it's an easy fit, but vocally, she's the absolute opposite of me. I'm a high soprano with a ton of vibrato naturally in my voice.
Mhm.
She is a sultry alto
Mm.
with very little to no vibrato in her singing.
So
So I
yeah.
opposite. I'm sultry. That's the one part we have in common. And so that's how the Sade show came about, and people love Sade. I didn't even realize until I started doing the tribute how much people love Sade, how legendary. She's almost like superhuman, the way people look at her. And so it was a very wise choice for me because now, as a brand, it's helping to elevate my brand that way. The name Sade of the Bay actually came from a podcast. Very early on in my musical career, I jumped onto a podcast in the Bay Area, and two of the guys, hip hop podcast, and they said, okay, Ariel, okay, you do Sade. Okay, Sade of the Bay. I was like, I'm going to take that and run with it. Right. And ever since, I just tell people, my name is Ariel Marin, aka Sade of the Bay. And that way they know both Sade of the Bay and they know me as Ariel Marin. Some people walk up to me and just say, hey, Sade. I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. And so, any way you can think to distinguish yourself as an artist, and that name is great. I also want to be, and I'm in the process of becoming a household name. So, whereas a lot of bands have, their own names that they've made up, I wanted my name to be a household name. So, that's part of the reason why my band goes as the Ariel Marin band as opposed to, Phoenix Fire or something, something different like that. And that's great. And I may create another part of my brand that has a whole other band name,
Okay.
but they got to know my name as a household name. So
Say less.
that's intentional.
And I mean, as far as I mean, I resonate with Sade as well. Just talking a little bit about my upbringing when I was in marching band in high school. I was singing in the marching band and doing some amazing things with that. But my brother played saxophone. So my parents
Oh,
tried to put the smooth operator song together with us. And so that was one of our kind of our go-tos when we would do auditions because we auditioned for like Broadway and all that stuff, but also just in general. So we were very musical at a young age as well. But when I saw
fabulous.
your tribute band and your when we were first selecting our artists for our booking agreements, and I saw your performance, it was like, that's Sade. That's her right there. So I was like, okay, I bow down. It's like it's over. So but no, I mean, again, one thing that we keep reiterating and kind of coming back to with this podcast is it's about your identity, it's about your brand, but also being authentic about it and also
Hmm.
being original too. So there's obviously you mentioned the tribute bands and the familiarity. One thing that I also tell my artists is if you are emerging and you are trying to break into the scene with, just performance and such, put together a cover list. It can be a 30-minute list and go
Hmm.
find, open mics or go find places to be able to perform music that people know because like how you said, if they know it, then they can relate that to you and know it's like,
Right.
oh, well, she sounds like Rihanna. She sounds like Sade. Okay, cool. What else do you have? And so
Hmm.
that's something that I encourage new artists to do. Yes, have a cover show. Yes, have that. But if you are trying to be an independent artist, you then have to make
Hmm.
the focal, the point to then shift to your original. So let's talk
Right.
about it. So I know
Yes.
you have your tribute stuff and everything, but like I said, we have some original music as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I want to put a pin in that point also where you talk about doing covers
Mhm.
as well. Because I notice a lot of artists will come out and they will pick, sometimes they'll pick their favorite songs, but they might be like the most obscure Beyonce song from an early album. And then they'll go and do a show. And if it's not a hit song, chances are they might really like enjoy your voice, but the show is not going to be memorable in the way that you need it to be.
Mhm.
So, what I would recommend, even if you're breaking your originals in that show, make sure you pick some hits that people are going to just dance to, even slow songs. So, for example, uh, across different genres. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac is a one hitter quitter. It's a one hitter quitter no
Yeah.
matter what demographic you have. Dreams. Alicia Keys, No One is a one hitter quitter. Uh, Journey, Don't Stop Believing, one hitter quitter.
Mhm.
So if you choose some of those hit songs, even some, Dua Lipa or current hits, Ping Pong in the Club, right? If you throw those in, and then after you've done two or three songs, hit them with an original.
Mhm.
Hey, my name is Ariel Marin. I am so glad you came to my show. And you want to talk to them like they're friends and family because you got to create that atmosphere where they're there with you. They're not just watching you, but they need to feel like they're your best friend. So if they're not hugging you by the time you're done with your show,
Mhm.
you missed the boat. You really did. So, and then in between, present your originals. I actually make it a point to teach the audience the chorus of my original when I'm singing the song. So when I'm doing my Sade tribute, I'll perform at least one or two of my originals. And by the time I strategically put them in the show, the audience is singing me my song like they've known it all of their lives. And then what has happened recently is at the end of the show, people come up to me. I get my hugs every time. They're like, "Oh my God, can I hug you?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And they said, "I love the rest of the show, but my favorite was your song."
Oh.
And I'm like, "What?" And the last Sade tribute I did, I started the song, and before I could teach the song, the audience was already singing it.
Mm.
Oh,
You got a
which
hit.
tells me Right, which tells me they've been listening to it before I could even present it. They're already listening to it. So,
Mhm.
whew, it's amazing. So be strategic, be intentional. And then the other thing I can say for an aspiring artist,
Mhm.
this is the career that you want. So do as much education as you can, self-education. YouTube makes it easy. Things that you used to have to go to a university to find, you can find on YouTube. You can Google stuff. There are courses for up and coming uh, production companies, for up and coming artists. Study your craft and master it. Also, it doesn't matter whether you're the best vocalist in the world or you feel like the least of these. Take a vocal course, strengthen your vocals and technique. I make it a point every January to sharpen my tools and never ever ever stop learning because no matter what point you've reached in your elevation, if you wanna call it quits right there, decide to stop learning because you will kill your career in a heartbeat if you just decide you're the best thing since sliced bread and no one else matters or nothing else that they can teach you will, sink in. So always be willing to learn, be a sponge, be a people person, and yes, be authentic because I I know as an artist when I first started, I was afraid. And if I myself, are they going to pick me apart? Um, I, I I didn't want to tell my backstory. I mean, abusive marriage, and then I started to tell my backstory, and I have another song that a lot of, especially women, take to. Uh, I can't even say that because I actually just had a man walk up to me and say he listens to my song over and over, and he's healing from cancer.
Wow.
And he's been in therapy for that. And he uses my song Warrior
Mm.
just as his inspiration every single day. And to me, that's so powerful because that's why I do this, is to really speak to individuals. And my music is about empowerment. So you just, as long as you're coming from a genuine place, and the beautiful part about being an independent artist is being able to be authentic, because one of the things that a lot of artists don't realize is if you sign to a label, a lot of the bigger labels create image instead of allowing you to really decide what your image is. They will package you in the way they see fit for their pockets. So if they don't see the image that you see as what they want to present, they will turn you into a billboard for their brand and not necessarily yours.
Yeah.
So that's something to be aware of. I learned that in this process. And so I am continuously pushing hard to educate myself and make sure that I know everything that I need to know to thrive as an independent artist. And hey, if a big label sees that when I've gained that massive traction as an independent artist and decides to back me, it will be on my own terms. So
Amen. I mean,
yes.
I'm sitting here just kind of listening. I'm like, wow, anybody listening to what you're saying is just getting gold after gold because it's just it's what you need. It's that encouragement, but it's also like the, kind of the validation and affirmation be like, look, if this you have to be you. And
Yes.
the word picture that comes to my head anytime I think about, artists who are just so like gung ho for a record label to pick them up and all this stuff, but they don't understand
Hmm.
that you become a Barbie doll at that point where they get to
You
dress
do.
you and they get to choose what you look like and what version you're going to be today,
Hmm.
and you kind of take away your liberties in that. And I'm not saying every label does that, but what
Hmm.
I'm saying is they control the brand that they are trying
Yeah.
to create, because at the end of the day for them, they're trying to make sure that they, get that dollar sign and get everything for their company so that they can go home,
Right.
which isn't wrong, but now you as the artist are stripped away from your identity that you wanted to build and grow with. So I'm just
Right.
I'm echoing what you're saying, because that is such a profound point to the industry. And
Hmm.
that's why, like, for example, I started learning about contracting and learning about publishing and all those things, because for me, I wanted to make sure that any of our artists that we worked with Nana Music Productions, they understood that they had a team that could help back them up in those moments. Because at the end of the day, I want our artists, I consider you an our artist, to be
Hmm.
independent as much as possible. So if you're writing songs and stuff, you own your publishing. You have the control, because I don't know if I can say this on the podcast, but like our unofficial slogan is, we're like the Home Depot for musicians. You can do it, we can
Hmm.
help. It's your project, it's your career, it's your path. We're just here to help you along with it. Um
Yeah.
so yeah, so with that, and that's the shameless plug there. But with that,
Rep your
um
brand.
right, right. But with that though, it warms my heart as a business owner to hear an artist echoing and saying exactly what I'm saying to my artist too. So it helps me,
Mhm.
because I've been in the industry for about 15 years now. Don't ask me how old I am, but with that, I am, still learning. And one thing that my late professor, Robert W. Smith, said, and it had to do with genres of music, which is
Mhm.
the moment you disrespect somebody else's music is the moment you lose the right to like your own. More
Right.
boiled down to it, meaning you can always learn something from somebody else's music. You don't need to disrespect it. So you don't have to like it. It doesn't have to be your favorite thing. I don't listen to
Mhm.
polka all day, but that might resonate with somebody. Yodeling might be somebody's thing. Like, every
Right.
form of music, and there's technique and there's history and there's all this stuff to it. So it may not be your cup of tea, but it doesn't mean that you should, belittle that, because it could be somebody's, saving grace. So, but
Right.
I talk on the whole thing. Anyway, about you though. So I know we kind of went around with the with the covers going into the original, as far as the
Yeah.
strategy on stage and just how to introduce original music and kind of do that gauge from all covers to original. But I know you talked about your song Warrior, but you also have a
Hmm.
pretty big hit on Spotify right now, Supa Supa. So you want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about how you created that song, and
Sure.
what people can expect when they hear that.
Yes. So my songs are very autobiographical. And so uh, I have to talk about the ones that I've released. So the first one was Warrior. And that, of course, it's a song of survival. It's a song of victory, and it's a song of empowerment that came from my own story. And so uh, the second song I released is Peculiar People, and that's about embracing the unique person you are. Because when you embrace your authenticity, your uniqueness, you not only gain power, but you empower others. And that is your magic pill. That's like your, you know, that's that's everything. Your identity is everything. That's why it's so important to never lose that, because you notice there are a lot of artists that lose their minds because their identity, who they are as a human, has been stripped away to create a billboard for a company.
Yeah.
And so it's so important. It's the same reason why my abusive marriage was not going to continue to control my life. I lost my identity in that. I mean, could you imagine me just like wearing black, brown, and white, and no makeup, and not having fun, and
Mm-mm.
making, rice and gravy and no other food for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
No. So sounds like a cat. I'm sorry, cats. I love cats. So on a side note, so keep your identity, because it's the fabric of who you are as a human. And when you lose that, you lose everything. You lose yourself. Um, and so Warrior is that empowerment song, and then I said Peculiar People is the uniqueness, that unique person that you are. Supa Supa is my whole vibe. It's like where I'm at in my career right now, and the the package, the strategies that I've taught you, or that I'm telling you, I use for myself. And so now everywhere I go, I run into people and they're just like, superstar, superstar. You remember Saturday Night Live? They had superstar. I do that on stage sometimes, but everyone calls me a superstar. And so I was like, that's amazing. I wanna make others understand that they're superstars in their own right. And so I wrote this song about being amazing, being unique, super, super star. And then released that, and that just took hold. Like without a machine behind that, that song got 50, I think it's like 56,000 listeners
Yeah.
without proper promotion. And plus it's a jam. So I wanted it to be
Just a,
nostalgic
a jam.
but current. Yeah, just a jam. I wanted it to be timeless, just like beauty, right? I
Yeah.
want to be youthful and useful at every age, just ageless. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're relatable, it doesn't matter. If people love what you do, it doesn't matter. If you're bringing the right stuff, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? So yeah, Supa Supa is that jam.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And if you watch the video also, you'll notice it's just packed with color. And I wanted it to be danceable and wanted people to play it, DJs to play it in the roller rink. So I was like, this is gonna be a
That, yeah, that's a roller rink, kind of just like, yeah, you just grove in. Mm-hmm.
yeah, heavy on the bass. Bass,
Yeah.
bass,
So,
yes.
I mean, I'm gonna have to go listen to it when we get off the phone. Just be like, all right, let me go play it in my car and just get hyped up. So,
Right.
but So we're about to wrap up our time a little bit right now. So I know you put so much into some advice for our artists and for people going into the industry. If you were to describe just one point, or maybe you have three or whatever, one of our previous artists had like, I got a list, and I'm like, okay, hold on, wait, hold on. But more so to say, what would be your biggest just like sticking point to be like, if anything, be or do this if you're trying to be in this industry?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A few points with that. Number one, figure out your identity.
Mm,
Who are you? What do you want to present? What is it about you that the world needs to see or hear? That's really important. What sets you apart from other people, other individuals? Even if it's similar to someone else, you always have a uniqueness about you.
mm,
So keep that in perspective. Number two, music, the industry is majority business. Can I cuss on here?
oh yeah, yeah, like
Know your
but
shit.
yeah, no, you're
Know your shit. Like, even if you just want to be booked as a band, study what do bands make? What are the most successful bands? Why are they successful? What do they wear? What do they sing? Where are they performing? What's their demographic?
Mhm.
Know that. Know the business side as much as you possibly can so that you don't get taken advantage of because this world will take advantage of every little crack that you have if you let them. Um, so study, study, study. I know I constantly do. And then when I forget, I study some more because there's always something to learn. The industry is always changing. The
Mm.
social media is always moving the goalpost also. So keep up as best as you can. I'm in the process of building a team. So find your supporters
Mm.
as well. And then the final point I would have to make, because there are so many things I could probably teach a master class now, and I'm
Happen.
still right going higher with my music, but I'm excellent at teaching it. That's one thing that sets me apart. So you know, uh, so what I have to say is your self-talk is so important because music, as we know, it's one of the hardest industries. Honestly, any industry is hard if your heart's not in it. But music, especially, there's a lot of shadiness. And so you have to keep your love of music alive no matter what, because there are going to be great times, there are going to be tough times, there are going to be extremely difficult times. And if you're not laser focused and passionate about this,
Mhm.
it's not for you. Pick that career that you are passionate about and go that route because whatever it is you do, you have to absolutely love it. And then I guess that's another point. Your self-talk matters. You got to look yourself in the mirror and hype yourself up every single day, no matter what. We all wake up on the wrong side of the bed. It's all right. Get up. It's a great day. It's an amazing day. And I'm going to make this day as fantastic and it will change everything. And so I'm going to leave you with my mantra that I created for myself. My self talk every single day is I'm a global music superstar, the greatest by far, rich in love, joy, wealth, optimal in health. I'm a global transformer, the top performer, topping all music charts, bringing twinkles to eyes and smiles to hearts.
I love that. I was just like, I'm going to make that a sound bit and I'm going to
Yes,
be myself. No, that's beautiful. And that is such a first of all, that is so you as just as a person. So the fact that that is what you tell yourself and everything, I'm just like, oh, that makes my heart warm. But also when you mentioned that self-talk like that, I'm not gonna get
it's
into that, but
huge.
that hit home. I was like, oh yes, because if your heart is not in it, then what are you doing?
Mhm.
Like it's
Yeah,
just gonna be going through the motions, and that just means with any industry and anything.
any,
So if your
yeah,
heart's not in it, then what's the point? And also when your heart's in it, it helps with your accountability to in that drive and that hunger for you to be able to keep going. So,
Absolutely.
no, that's beautiful and I love it. I hope that in the future, and I say in the near future, we'll be having you back on the show and maybe we'll be able to see each other in person since you are
Oh
in
yeah.
California and I'm in the deep South, Alabama. But for people who want to find you and be able to follow you and know your journey, do your plug. Where can they find you?
All right. So you can find me at Ariel Marin Music. That's ArielMarin Music on social media. So you can look me up on Facebook, IG, TikTok if you want. And then for music, I can be found anywhere. So I am on Spotify. I've got videos on YouTube as well. So I would just say follow it all because it takes like 3 seconds to go ting, 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 subscribe. Easy peasy and freezy. So
And the thing is, once you find one, you'll find them all. So like that's
that
how
part,
it's
yeah.
going through. It's like, okay, find Instagram. Oh, there's Facebook. Oh, there's YouTube. Oh, there's okay, we found you. So yeah.
Yes.
So everyone please go follow her and support Ariel with her not just her journey, but just like, her band and what she does. She's an amazing artist and go listen to her on Spotify, just like how you can listen to this podcast. So again, thank you so much for your time, Ariel. I really appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure.
My name
Likewise.
Yes, yes, yes. And my name is Tatiana Webb, and this podcast was Off the Record.